seemingly a normal thing as of recently. Before we jump into the video, I want to let you guys know about the new daily order once again in Major Howards. This one is for the Epic 1911 Juno variant for 80 kills with pistols, available today only. This is one that wasn't necessarily a new variant because it's been around for quite some time. I actually got it before it was removed out of supply drop, so I've had it for months now at this point, but it is something that was adjusted because of that supply drop change. We talked about how some variants and weapons were completely taken out of supply drops in general so that they could do this little daily order system. This is one of those that's been around for quite some time, so you may already have it, you may not, but if you don't have it, the opportunity is today for 80 pistol kills within Call of Duty World War II. So if you guys are interested, jump on, take a look at it, have yourself a grand old time, and if you already have it and you're not really necessarily worried about it, well, you might be able to take advantage of some people trying to gun you with a pistol, and you might have a rifle at range or something. So it all works out. Maybe you'll have a good day in COD today. But that said, let's jump right into the regularly scheduled content. So the past couple of weeks, we've been doing a little bit of camo showcases for what you guys and the rest of the community have created in Call of Duty World War II. With the launch of the paint jobs a couple of weeks back, we've seen a lot of stuff. We've seen in-game and modern-day Picassos in the COD World War II paint jobs, and some of them have been absolutely fantastic. So, of course, I've been asking you guys to submit your own, so this is based off of your own feedback and some of the other community creations as well that I've seen around town, and so hopefully you guys do enjoy them. If you guys want to see more of these, let me see your creations by submitting yours down in the description below. There will be a form in which you can go, give me your name, some images of it, or something like that, and we can keep these going. And I don't really ever do this really, but if you guys do enjoy this, make sure you drop a like down below, so that lets me know that you guys want to see more of these and we can continue doing them. So it's a little bit of an accurate gauge on your interest in this sort of thing as well. But that said, let's jump right into it today. We have 13 that I want to show off for you guys, 13 camos from what you guys submitted, and of course, some of the others around the community as well. And starting out with at number 13, we have Corrupt Ketzer coming in with one that he calls Freedom Fighter. And this on his M1 is a fairly straightforward and simple version here of this, but it's very nice, utilizes that standard woodland camouflage type of feel, but also adds the allied powers to this with the star, the circle, and a few nice little stripes there that overall makes for a very clean, nice, and simple camo on this M1. And honestly, I'm a fan of it. I really enjoy it. I'm a sucker for the camos that look nice and clean and are relatively simple, so this one I figured was a nice way to start this off. Coming in at number 12, we have Boy DZ, who calls this one Duck Hunt, and fittingly enough, it's on his Duck Soup variant of the PPSH, and it's just a nice little colorful explosion of colors here with, of course, the duck emblem right on the side there as well. So, of course, nifty little puns all around and something that works out quite well if you're a fan of the colorful camos and a little straightforward and simple, but looking very nice nonetheless. Coming in with number 11, we have Shredder 2025 with an All-American M1 variant. Ultimately, again, a rather straightforward and simple one here with it, where it's just straight up the American flag with line them up on the side. But what really gets me with this one is the fact the integration of the camo, the red camo on the M1 itself. That's what I really love. It again makes it much simpler so that it carries the design the entire way of the weapon, because as we know with the paint jobs and how they work, the canvas that is editable on some of these weapons is nowhere near the full weapon. So to see the sort of theme continue on for the entirety of the weapon is absolutely fantastic in my mind, and really just adds a little bit more to it in general. Now, of course, also the little dynamite weapon charm, that's a nice little addition too, but regardless, that's gonna move us into the top 10 here with this one. Starting that off is Gang of Squirrel, once again back with this week with Winter Warfare. Again, he loves to play with the Intra Burst here at this, and of course, this one is a nice little muddied snow warfare design, very much so matching the name. You can tell it is that wintry theme on it, but again, it's nothing that is really too discernible from, say, some of the other stuff we'll see later on, where it's the modern day Picasso of it, but it still is something that fits beautifully. And since we mentioned Picasso, maybe it's not Picasso, maybe it's more so a Jackson Pollock, but still, it looks absolutely beautiful, a very much so cross between, say, a winter feel, then a sort of digital camo, plus again, paint splatter. So all in all, it looks absolutely awesome. Plus with that chrome camo, looks a little bit nicer just on top of that. I feel like chrome just adds a +1 notch for anything that a camo is on. Of course, if it does fit the design a little bit as well, that's always an extra added +2. Number 9, I couldn't help but place at number 9 for a couple of different reasons. Firstly, because it's awesome. Second, it's a little bit on the simpler end outside of one particular place. And then third, because it is dealing with the number 9 as well. So this one comes from Isradu. Once again, he's back. I think from week 1 he had something featured as well, but this one is, if you're a Zombies fan, you'll know this one in particular, a Division 9 P08 Abwehr. So this one, again, very much so on the outer portions of the camo, not necessarily focused on the decal. It's rather straightforward, it's a simple gradient, looks nice, all that good stuff, but where it really comes in and wows me is the detail that it has on such a small canvas size to get that Division 9 logo almost identical. Again, if you take a look at the actual Division 9 logo and then see what was placed on this, it's just crazy because, again, it is almost identical. The only thing that really is maybe not so matching up is the Japanese lettering, in which is in the top left and right of that Division 9 logo, but other than that, it's spot on. And again, for such a small canvas size, to me, that's fascinating. Now, I agree this could probably make its way higher in the listings, but I just felt like it needed to be placed at number 9 just to tie in with Division 9. So that said, that is the 9th spot here with this, absolutely fantastic. But moving over into number 8, that is gonna go to It's Lukey with a Galaxy camo here at this one, and which I really like this one too. We have a couple like this, I think, in today's showcase, but not all that many to completely take over, say, the theme of it, but this one is really cool. It's got like the moon, it looks like the Aurora Borealis, all kinds of nifty little neat colors that really flow together very well, and of course, the overall space theme of it. I'm a huge space guy, so like this one just hits home with me perfectly. I would rock this any day. The only thing that kind of is a bummer is that it shows off beautifully, yes, on the PPSH, but the PPSH stock is almost never visible in-game if you inspect it, so you only really ever see right around where the trigger is. But from a distance, we can admire it here, and it's, of course, absolutely fantastic. 7 today goes to Minty Fresh 319 with multiple variations of CSGO camos, such as the Asimov and the Redline, and then he puts a little twist on the Asimov as well to make a C9 variation on top of all that. And again, I'm a huge fan for CSGO skins. I think that if you can recreate some of those in World War II, that's absolutely fantastic. Last week we saw the Hyper Beast. That one absolutely blew me away. But again, these are absolutely fantastic. I think that the Asimov is one of the ones that looks the best on weapons, but is very hard sometimes to actually perfect and to put on weapons, especially on the snipers, because we end up seeing that when you zoom out, some of the grip points on the layering don't match up ideally, and therefore it kind of becomes tougher to actually place things where you want them to be. So huge kudos with these ones, awesome jobs on that. But number 6, that's gonna end up going to Tim Bouncers, who calls this one Dark Matter, but to me, I see again a moon and a sort of star variation with this, but of course looks beautiful overall, and with that gold camo on the PPSH, definitely looks nice on top of that as well. Overall, I really like this one. It's again simple, sleek, and clean, and to the point. And the only bummer, of course, is that the stock, once again, does not really get shown off in the inspect animation. So bummer that that part gets a little bit neglected, but ultimately overall, again, very nice, clean, simple, to the point, and a beautiful camo overall. So that's gonna move us into the top 5 with this one, and number 5 ends up going to Fair Lady Z05 with the one that she calls the Merc 98, but this one deals a little bit with a theme of BMW motorsports. And so for this one, you of course see the BMW logo, and I like the checkerboards across the board and all the different patterns, bringing a little bit of a sort of techie feel to it, but also a clean and racing stripe feel to it as well. So there's a lot of different clashes of themes that I really enjoy with this one, and ultimately looks like it's taken a lot of time to do with a bunch of different layering and different textures, so definitely chalk that one up for the effort here with this, and of course ultimately looks great overall. It's very catchy, catches your eye with that white, but of course also does a nice job of reaming in the other colors as well. So nice little one here at this one. But moving on to number 4, that's gonna go to Sergeant Scout, coming in with a simple one here, but one that looks absolutely fantastic on the Type 38 or the Arasaka. This one entitled Cherry Blossom, which on the actual barrel of the sniper, you can end up seeing the sort of tree design and effect there, but going towards the stock, you end up seeing the different petals from the cherry blossoms and the nice little movement in the gradient from a sort of purplish pink to a lighter blue. And overall, the actual just feel and simplicity of it really carries the weight of the design, and it's something that I quite enjoy a lot. I think it's also awesome that on the other side of the weapon, the one that you don't necessarily ever see if you end up inspecting it or something like that until you turn it over, or in just your regular first-person point of view, you don't see much, there is a completely different design here on top of that, where you of course still have that gradient from a blue to a green, but you have a little bit of a koi pond feel to it as well. So a nice little two-piece variation to this on the same weapon, and again, overall it's a very simple, clean, catches your eye, but isn't too glaring and takes away from the gameplay itself, so I love that for this one. Top 3 time, we get into some big hitters here at this one. Number 3 is one that we've seen various variations of throughout the past couple of weeks in which we've done this, but it is one that I think is done so tremendously well. This coming from Sania, and this is a dark matter version of the PPSH, but one that is done so brilliantly with so much depth feel to it, so much of the burning embers that you end up seeing that go across the board in actually Black Ops 3's dark matter. That's something that, of course, we can't make these paint jobs animated, unfortunately, but we can do a good job at trying to recreate the best portions of them, and I think that this is definitely a fact that really takes that and elevates it to the next level. This overall from stock to barrel looks absolutely fantastic. Of course, I would absolutely love to see some of the ammo chamber being an editable part of this weapon canvas, but unfortunately that's not the case. But with the PPSH offering pretty much the entire weapon except for that portion being editable, it looks fantastic, and from a once again start to finish perspective, it's absolutely insane. That must have taken so much time, so much effort, and honestly, I commend you so much for that. So that is number 3. Number 2 with this one comes from Bango Stevens, and this one, honestly, I love. Once again, I'm a huge fan of colors that not only pop, but aren't necessarily too glaring, something that looks a very fitting design and something that is filled with patterns. I love that kind of stuff, and this one is absolutely beautiful. It's based off the Decimator skin from CSGO. Again, another touchy point in my heart, CSGO skins. I think if you can pull those off, it's absolutely fantastic. But this one on the M1, it looks so good. Of course, the different colors from pink to blue, that gradient, and then of course the almost cut diamond pattern on top of that. I'm telling you, man, I love this one. I wish there was a download option for this, because I would download this and a couple of others in a heartbeat, man. These are so nice. It turned out great, and honestly, I wish that there was some video attached with this so we could see the inspect animation, because this thing deserves to be seen. But that is going to round us into the number 1 spot, and again, this is one that totally deserves to be seen like we just mentioned. This one going to J-Tai Goku in a very fitting name with one he calls Kamehameha, and as you could probably guess, Dragon Ball Z themed with this, but it is so sick. The Nightmare 2's weapon strap gets in the way a little bit on the more so visible side of the Kar 98K, but on the other side you can see it perfectly, but ultimately you end up seeing the absolutely insane action in motion there with it, but of course made entirely in COD World War II's paint jobs. And then of course on the top of the weapon itself, on the barrel's top, you end up having the Dragon Balls collected there as well. But again, ultimately this one has probably taken absolute ages to do. I think it fits beautifully, and then in the video he ends up putting the turquoise camo on, and that just makes it like so much better in my books. It looks so great from start to finish with that on it, but rounding it out, it just looks absolutely fantastic. I'm seriously baffled by what some of you guys can actually create in paint jobs. I myself struggle with some things in just the simplest manners, but it looks so good on everybody else's paint jobs there. So that said, that's where we're gonna round out this week's top paint jobs of the week. So that said, once again, if you guys are interested in getting yours seen, make sure you submit yours in the form in the description below. It'll take you to a Google form in which all you really need to do is fill out your name, a little description of it if you guys want to, and a title if you want to, but also then where you can submit your actual images from Imgur, Reddit, preferably like a YouTube video if you have the ability to show it off actually in video format, but it'll just take you to where you can submit it, and we can go forward a little bit further each week, taking a look at some of your best paint jobs. So that said, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to drop a like down below. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing here regarding Call of Duty World War II updates, best class setups, tips, tricks, news, information, best camos like this, all that good stuff we got you covered here up on the channel, and Black Ops 4 is right around the corner as well. So we'll be keeping you guys up to date with anything you need to know about that also. But if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected from outside of YouTube. Practically live on Twitter, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Instagram as well, try to get more active over there too, so that link is as well in the description below. With all that said and out of the way, hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you all so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care, and peace.